You're listening to Cash and Sass. I'm Lisa Marie, your go-to gal for all things money. As the Sassy Wealth Queen and the brains behind the Sassy Wealth Coach, I'm here to take you on a thrilling ride from the financial chaos to sassy and sexy money. Welcome back, my sassy friend, to another episode of Cash and Sass. I'm Lisa Marie, the Sassy Wealth Queen and the brains behind this podcast, and of course, the Sassy Wealth Coach. And today with me, I have Angela Wilson, and she is a national best-selling author, captivating speaker, and founder of Angela Unlimited, dedicated to empowering women to live a life rich in every aspect. Her work and personal journey reflect a deep commitment to helping women to find their authentic voice and to embrace an unlimited life. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Angela, for being with me today. I truly appreciate it. And of course, as everyone knows, we are going to dive into the subject of money. That's what this podcast is about. I mean, it's no secret what we're going to be talking about each episode. But what we're going to dive into and what I think will be really cool to hit home and to just go deep into is talking about money shame and not having enough and how there actually is more than enough. And Angela, I would like your little feedback on that. Like, when it comes to that money shame, did you see that in your life, and have you experienced it? And what have you seen outside of that to where that was even a topic that we want to even discuss?
Yeah, so money shame. I hear a lot about it, and it was something that was very big in my own life as well. So as well as all the things that you said, I'm also a CPA, so I'm an accountant. And so in my own life, I could do that all day long for my clients, but then in my own life, at one point, didn't have it handled at all because I didn't have the mindset to be able to do it. There were way more many wants and all of that stuff in the house, and so that adds to the shame of, I don't have it handled, and that adds to other shame, and whatever's going on in our money is really it's really a symptom of other things that are going on in our life. That's really what it is.
Yeah, and a lot of times it triggers or stems back to things that happened when we were younger or happened generations to generations, right?
Works.
Because a lot of times those blocks or those barriers that we have, um, we don't realize we have them. And then if we do realize we have them, we think that, okay, we're just stuck with them. That's, the only thing that there is for us, right? When in actuality, as everyone knows who's watched my podcast and listen to my podcast, I didn't come from money. I didn't come from wealth. I didn't come from any of that. And I created it and I changed that money mindset. I changed the um I like the way actually I like the way you said I asked you what most proud of in terms of your progress. And so this is why I'm saying this is I changed my relationship with money, and I like how you put it because it's basically what you said is that today money is a dance partner in your life.
Yeah.
So you changed that relationship
Yes.
with your money
Yeah.
because now, money isn't a taboo thing. Money isn't evil. Money is your dance partner. You dance with it. You know what I mean? And when I
Right.
read that, I was like, oh, she's a woman after my own heart. Like I don't actually say the dance partner, but I might start doing that now. Just fair warning.
Yeah, no worries.
um, but well, I mean, it's that's when you say that, I light up. I'm like, you know what?
Mhm.
Yeah. What who who wouldn't want your money to be your dance partner? So what I'm going to ask is how did money go from what it was
Mhm.
to being your dance partner? What are some of the steps that you took? So for my listeners who are listening and going, I would love for money to be my dance partner, but I don't even know where the hell to begin.
Well, and it really is to begin with that mindset piece. The mindset piece is so important, and it really comes from that standpoint of, you know, we hear so many stories. You mentioned some of them. Money's evil. I grew up hearing that, you didn't talk about money. Mm, taboo subject. You never mentioned it. You handle it all like by yourself. There's no conversations. First thing I tell ladies that I work with is that, look at no, money's got to be part of your conversation. And when I say that, I don't mean that it's like go out there and say, I make blah, blah, blah a year. That's not it. But it's have it part of the conversation in that, oh my gosh, this is what I desire. This is what I'm going after. I'm proud of what I'm doing. That invites money in. The other real big thing is getting gratitude. Getting gratitude for where you are right now. Because when you're in gratitude for where you are right now, that opens you up to abundance. And abundance, it's here for everyone. And again, it's a story that there's not enough. That is a complete story. And that's not a story to live in because there's more than enough for everyone if we choose to have that in our lives. And that's the way I live. I don't believe in competition. I believe that there's more than enough for everyone. And I believe in abundance. And that's why money's my dance partner. It comes in. And the other thing that you really have to do is give money a purpose. Money wants to know what you're going to use it for, or else it's not going to come in because I always say, ladies, okay, look, give it a purpose because guess what? If you say, oh, I think maybe I would like, I'm not sure. Oh, I don't really need. Guess what happens? Money goes down to Sally's house. It doesn't come into your house. Say what you truly want. Get
Well,
really
and it's
clear.
something else. Yeah. Yeah. And something else I say too is I tell them, I said, if someone didn't pay attention, if someone, if you came into someone's house and you were visiting, you're there and no, or I don't know, no, you were friends with people and no one ever checked on you. No one ever looked in on you. No one wanted to make sure you were okay. No one wanted to, you didn't want to do you didn't want to give them something to do. You just left them. They just left you. What would you do? And when I asked that, they all look at me like I've lost my mind. You know where I'm going with it because I saw your head. But everybody else thinks I've lost my mind. And they'll go, I leave. I'm like, yeah.
Yep.
Would you come back? They're like, no, not if you're not going to pay me any attention. But if you're not paying your money any attention, then why would your money stick around?
Exactly.
Why would money come back?
It's not going.
And it's your money want right. Your money and y'all, you can call it woo if you want to. I don't care. But what you focus on, you create more of. And I did not believe for the longest time what I just said
Mhm.
until the last, I don't know. I've been in business now 8 years, so going on 8 years. So I'd say in the last 4 or 5 years, 4 years, because of my progress it was learning.
Mhm.
Um, it evolved and changing that mindset and that story has been an evolving process is the good way to put it. And it's a never stop learning process. And when someone said that to me, it was like a light bulb. It was an aha moment. And I was like, huh. And they're like, your money wants you to have a relationship with it. Your money wants you to check in on it.
Yep.
That's the reason why I tell people to do deep dives into their bank accounts. That's you checking in on your money. That's you checking in and going, hey, where are you going? What are we using you for? Where are we putting you? And is it aligned with my values, my goals, and my desires? And if it's not, you know what? We need to make some changes. We need to improve this relationship. And if it is, great, right?
Yep.
And it's exactly what Angela's talking about. Give your money a purpose. Your money wants a purpose. Because 9 out of 10 times what's going to happen is if you don't give your money a purpose, I call it's going to go down the drain. It's going to disappear. And then you're going to be going, where the hell did my money go? And then you're going to want to know why you don't have any more money coming in. And it's because money's going to be like, well, why would I? You weren't paying any damn attention to me to begin with.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I say about that too is that the surest way for you to only have $100, I always say $100. The surest way that you only have $100 in your bank account is to keep looking at your bank account and saying, I only have $100. Because you're so focused on that's all I have. But when you focus on This is where I want to go. This is the purpose I want you to come in for. It's going to flow in. It's the way it works.
Mhm. Yeah. And you do have to, it's tweaking what you're thinking and what you're saying when you look at your accounts. You have to look at your accounts because first of all,
Yeah.
you need to know what the hell's going on with your money. Um, Second, the more you look at it, the more you make it a habit, the less anxiety it's going to cause you.
Mhm.
I
Absolutely.
know that for firsthand experience. And now, I check and I don't say, oh, there's only $1,000 or, oh, I only have 100. I go, oh, okay. That's how much has been received today. And this is what I want to bring in because this is what we're going to do with it.
Yes.
And then I go about my business. I make sure that nothing that was supposed to come out didn't come out. I make sure the things that were supposed to come out came out.
Yep.
And then we go about my business. And, I did a live recently where I talked about why it's just so important to have this relationship with your money. And one of the reasons is because people at the banks are human, their systems are computers.
Yep.
They're not perfect.
Yep.
They're going to make mistakes. They may not catch everything.
Mhm.
Perfect example is I bank with a bank with my credit card, and one of my clients does too. I got the alert for potential credit card fraud. It was, I don't know, it was like $88. It was like nothing. I'm like, okay, people, why, if you're going to try, I mean, why are you doing it for so low? But my bank called it, right? Sent me an alert, and I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what this is. This isn't mine." Okay? The same Within the same day, she called it later, but, so the next week, she emails me, and she goes, "So, you know how you tell me to always go in and check my stuff and make sure I do this?" And I was, "Yes." She goes, "Well, Capital One," which is the bank, "put a freeze on my card because there was a fraud, and it was at some, uh, weightlifting place, and it was close to $300." The catch is what I'm trying to get to is they didn't catch hers as potential. They caught mine because again, they're not perfect. But because she checks in on her money,
Yep.
because she checks in on it and she has a dancing relationship with it, she looked and went, "Hey, wait, that's not where you're supposed to be going. That's not mine." And immediately, she's getting her money back and it's being taken care of. When we don't pay attention to our money, shit can happen. I don't I can I'm not even gonna apologize for the bluntness. I'm not because I don't know how else to to put it. I went on a rampage on my life because I was like, this is one of the reasons you check it. This
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're gonna know. If you don't look once a week and you only look every 6 months, it's like somebody as your CPA, you're gonna know this. I have people who have bookkeepers, or even they'll do it, and they won't do their books for 6 months or till the end of the year.
Yep.
And then they want to know, oh, why is that all my expenses? I didn't know that. Well, of course you didn't know it. You weren't looking at it. You, 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 you can't. I can go on another rampage. You can't not look at it. I mean, you can if you don't want to have a relationship with your money and you
Yeah.
don't want to know what's going on. If you always want to be that way. Um, okay, I'm sorry. I got done with my TED talk.
Well, and you know what? It's that
Like the
alert.
second it's the second time it's the second time in, like, the last, I don't know, 48 hours I've gone off on a rampage of these things, and I'm just super passionate about it, and I love the fact that you and I are on the same page, and because you're talking, I'm shaking my
Yep.
head, I'm talking, you're shaking your head, and we're like, "Yeah." And, what are some of the things that you what is some of the advice that you give to it could be your clients or to the people around on ways for them to shift that? And I know it starts with a mindset, but what's just one thing that they could start doing?
The big thing is actually what you were just talking about is gain awareness for excuse me, for where you are right now, because so many people don't know where they are right now. From that standpoint, you can make a change. You can make a choice. You can make different
Mhm.
priorities. But if you don't know where you are, you're in the dark. And so it's really and here's the other thing I'm going to say. That awareness is not to make you right or wrong. That awareness is just
Oh,
gaining
absolutely.
awareness of where you are. And it doesn't matter what happened in
Mhm.
the past, you get to make a choice where you are and then move forward from there. And so I would say
Right.
awareness is absolutely key if you want to make changes. Absolutely key.
Yeah. And one of the things I say too is, it's just like fitness. When I started working out with my trainer, I was close to 200 pounds. And when I started working out with my trainer and putting my fitness first, and this will be almost 7 years ago, this month it'll actually be 7 years, she started me where I was at. She didn't have me running no marathons. Well, first of all, I don't run. Unless something's chasing me, I don't run, for the record. But she didn't have me doing uh alternating lunges. She didn't have me doing walking lunges. My lunges were with me holding on to the back of a chair because I was starting where I was at. Okay. The same thing goes if you're like, oh shit, you know what? I don't know where I'm at. I don't check my money. I don't know if what's supposed to be coming out is coming out or I don't know.
Yep.
Okay, well, the first step, I love you, Angela. We're on the same page. The first step is becoming aware.
Mhm.
And I say this all the time. I say it a different way. I say knowledge is power, and I say you got to know where the hell your money is going now. Now, knowing that there is no when you're figuring that out, there is not supposed to be any judgment.
No,
It's not for you to judge yourself, it's not to beat yourself up. It's just so you have the knowledge. You can't go and make decisions without that knowledge because you're just going to be running in circles in the dark. Now,
exactly.
have anybody else run in circles in the dark before? You end up tripping over shit, you end up knocking things down, you end up falling face first. So imagine doing that. That's what you're doing if you're trying to make changes
Yeah.
with how you spend your money or how you're investing it or how you're growing it, whatever, without knowing where you're at. And, like Angela said, that awareness is just to give you the knowledge and say, okay, this is where I'm at. I'm okay with this being here, but I would like this to be changed. Okay, now I can take steps forward to change it. We don't look in the
Yeah.
past, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you now that don't work.
No.
I beat myself up more than anybody could ever think about. And that's not what we're supposed to do.
No.
Or you're not it doesn't help.
No.
Okay? Because if it helped, we'd all be great. Um, it doesn't help. What helps is having that knowledge and going forward.
And I think too with that knowledge piece, it's really and I thank you for saying don't beat yourself up because don't beat yourself up. Because one of the things that we're really not taught is a lot of financial literacy. We're just not taught.
Amen.
We gain everything from what we've heard, what we've seen, and if you're in an environment where people don't talk about it, it's kind of like, oh, what's that over there? Okay, maybe I'm supposed to do this. Maybe I'm supposed to do that. Now, the people that we learned from, they did the best that they could, but that doesn't mean that what they were doing was 100% right or wrong either. But it's that what's the next step? What is it that
Right.
you want, and what is it, and where it's all your decision, and it's for you to decide what stories you want to live by and the priorities you want to make, and that's in your money because you're the one that gets to grow your money. You're the one that
Yep.
spends your money. You're the one that brings your money in, and so it's really, really getting super clear on what's coming in and what's going out and what the difference is.
Yeah, and when you get super clear about that, being honest with yourself on if that's actually where you want your money to go,
Absolutely.
or being honest with yourself if that's how much of your money you want going to a specific thing, like out to eat or whatever,
Yeah.
because it's in your control to change it. Now, if some mean people are like, yeah, but how I change it? Okay, there are many, many ways, but we're not even gonna get into that because you first need to have that awareness. And, and be honest enough with yourself and be willing to make small changes. The biggest thing I'm going to say is when you go to become aware, reach out to someone, whether it's a CPA, whether it's me, who's a fractional CFO. I do have accounting background. I chose not to go for the CPA because I don't like preparing taxes. I don't want to do anything with those taxes. They give me a headache, honestly. So I tell people I have just enough knowledge from those degrees that I can tell you about where you're at, and then I tell you you need to go talk to a tax professional who
Exactly.
stays up on those things, because I don't, and there's a reason why I don't, and it's because I got aggravated one year when they changed like 20 things at the last minute. I think it was right before COVID, and it made me mad, and I said I'm out. Because we were all running around like chickens with our head cut off, trying to relearn some of the new things that they just put in. And so, but the biggest thing is whether you're reach out to someone, ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to have advisors. It's okay to have people on your team. I have a tax advisor. They're like, you have an accounting degree, and I, I don't keep up with the laws, and she's also not going to be in the thick of my business, but she's going to be able to see from the outside what I'm telling her, and then be able to at least give me advice on what's the best direction to go in. Do you always have to listen to the advice? No. You're still the CEO of your business,
Yeah.
and I still recommend you have advisors, because 9 out of 10 times, like me, I'm going to be looking from the outside in. Like Angela, she's looking from the outside in, and we're going to see things a lot of times that you aren't going to see that will actually help you. And majority of us that are in this business, we're in it because we give a damn. It's not I mean, honestly, it's not any other reason. I mean, I'll tell you all day, I'm in it because I want to empower as many women as possible. I'm on a goal to empower 1 million women, over the course of the next 10 years. And to do that means I'm going to teach and I'm going to talk about it. And the reason I want to empower them is because I want there to be a change in the world. So I'm going to give you the best advice of what I see. And if that is for you to go talk to a CPA or a tax advisor, or like I've said plenty of times in my previous podcast, a certified financial planner, then that's who I'm going to send you to. We all serve a different part, and we actually can all help in different parts. I mean, I have clients who have CPAs and me. I'm their fractional CFO, wealth coach, and I work with this piece, and they got CPA, and us, me and the CPA work together. And a lot of people are like, huh? And I'm like, we do different things and we work together. We're still on the same goal. We don't all have to be doing the same thing. I promise there's some things they do I don't want to do. And there's probably some things that I do they don't want to do. Otherwise they would already be doing it, right? Um and I just think that the key is to don't try to do everything at once.
No, no. Take a small step.
Because if yes. Yeah. Because if you try to do everything at one time, after you become aware, you're going to get overwhelmed.
Mhm.
You're going to get frustrated, and the likelihood of you stopping and walking away is very high.
Yeah, it 100%. And it's that because it takes us outside of our comfort zone. And the further we stretch
Mhm,
outside of our comfort zone, that's when we retreat further back into the comfort zone. So if you take one small step,
mhm.
then the next step is even further, because now you're exponentiating on your steps, and it just works that way, and it's fantastic. And Everybody can.
Yeah, I mean, it compounds. I mean, same thing. Yeah, same thing with fitness, right?
Yeah.
With fitness, we started small and we built on it,
Yeah.
and now 7 years later, I've done a 16-mile hike. Who in the world would have thought I did a 16-mile hike? I've done a 16-mile hike. Um, there are things, and you'd have told me 7 years ago in 2024 you're going to do a 16-mile hike, I would have laughed at you. Okay. Um, and the small steps I took got me to there. And it's the same thing with your money and becoming aware and then making the changes, right?
Yeah.
After they become aware, what's something you, if they're going to try and do it their way or try to do it themselves at first,
Mhm.
or excuse me, I should say, if they're going to practice and they want to um, process this and start doing it by themselves at first, what is one of the first steps that you would say after becoming aware? What would be that small step? I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
Well, the small step is really, now it's the clarity piece. It's really about getting clear on how you want to dance with your money, and how you want it to be utilized in your life. And it is looking at, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say this word out loud because a lot of people don't like it, but it's budget. And I always call it a plan. I love calling it a dream plan, because I look at it this way. If you're
Mm.
leaving money on the table, you're robbing yourself of your dreams. So if you're not
Ooh.
looking at your expenses and what's coming in and what have you, then you're not going after your dreams, because you need money to finance those. I'm sorry, you do. It's really that simple. So then when you start looking at it and looking at, okay, this bucket of money, that's what I spend when I go out to eat. You can now start prioritizing. And when you do it, it doesn't mean that, oh, I can't go out to eat now. I have to completely cut this out. Maybe it's that you drop that by like
Amen. Amen.
5.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, like drop it. If you drop it, like say by 5%, you may then go, oh, okay, that's $100 here and $100 here and $100 here and $100 here. And then next thing, after a whole year, you've saved thousands. Small changes.
Yeah. You call yours the dream plan. You call yours the dream plan. I call mine the money roadmap.
Oh, perfect. Okay, good.
And so I like yours. Yours is the dream plan. I mean, I love mine. I'm not changing it. I love the money roadmap, but it's similar, right? Because you say you're leaving the dreams behind. I
Yep.
say it's a money roadmap, and people go, "Why you call it a money roadmap?" And I'm like, "Well, simple." I said, "You know how GPS gives you directions on where you're going. You tell it where you want it to go, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." And the GPS tells you, okay, this is the best route to take. And then if there's an accident or construction, it may detour you. Okay, the money roadmap is the exact same thing for your money.
Absolutely.
So you're saying, I want to be able to go on vacation. I want to be able to do this. The money roadmap says, okay, this is the direction to go. This is how to get there. And then the roadmap is tweaked if there's construction or quote unquote, when life happens. That's what I call it,
Yep.
because life is going to happen. Okay.
22.
There's no way around that. Um, and so when life happens, the money roadmap is tweaked, because I agree. If you're not having that plan, that money roadmap, that dream plan, it's a budget. If either way, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but if you don't have it, you're leaving money on the table and you're not getting to your destination. I
Exactly.
mean, that, you say you're not getting to your dream. I say when you leave money, when you don't have a money roadmap, you're leaving money on the table and you're now not getting to your destination. Whereas if you were actually having a true money roadmap, you would actually be able to say, "Oh, no, 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 you don't go back on there on that table. This is where I want you to go, and this is how we're gonna get there." And money becomes your true dance partner, because you're like, "Nope, I want you over here, and I want some of you over here," and we do the dance. I love that. Oh my god, I love that analogy. Like, I absolutely love that. But it's true,
Yeah,
right? It's so true. I think the biggest thing I want my listeners to take away from is, don't shame yourself and beat yourself up for past money mistakes and things that have happened in the past. They're in the past. Can't do anything about them, and that's okay. What you can do now is one, become aware, two, get really, really clear what your dream is, what your plan is, what your desires are, and build a money roadmap, dream plan with it. And make sure it's encompassing all those things and aligned with your values and your desires and your goals, because then that way you actually get to where you want to go. I think that's the biggest piece um, that I can not go on a tangent on. We'll stop there.
Yeah.
You have a free offer for my listeners. Can you please describe or tell them about that?
I believe it is the to create the 10 ways to create the path to your dreams. And in that, if you follow that,
Yep.
it's all about gaining that awareness, that clarity, and where dreams need to live if you're going to go after them. And the
Nice.
three keys to that, or in you have to be passionate about them. So in your heart, in your conversation, and most importantly, they have to live in your money. Because if they don't live in your money,
Amen.
they're not happening.
I could not agree more. So I encourage all of you to go and click on the link to create the path to your dreams. I'm going to tell you I'm going to, because I tell people all the time, I am never done learning.
Yep.
I can always learn more. And I think this is an awesome offer. And if there's one thing you want to leave my listeners with today, what would it be?
It is truly that it's never too late. Start where you are, and this is a journey, and you get to choose and you get to create it. So you can create any map you want. So go after it. And if you choose not to, that's your choosing, and that's okay. But there's something spectacular waiting for you.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yes. You get to choose and it's never too late. Never. And I think we're all there's so many of us are proof of that. Um thank you so much for being on my show today, and thank you for listening, and until next time, remember to stay sassy. Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on Cash and Sass. Check us out on social media and on our website at www.thesassywealthcoach.com, where you can download my free Money Story Start Guide. The website again is www.thesassywealthcoach.com. And as always, subscribe to the show to catch every new episode and leave us a review so we can continue to bring you fresh content. And remember, yes, it is possible to have sassy and sexy money. See you next week.